We're going into game number 3. Larva versus Rain, a fight to get to the final 4 of the ASL.
KT Giga Internet, ASL Season 4.
Gotta make sure I got I was wrong, I can tell, but the heart can be blind and frozen. Now I live with the pain every night till we take
Okay, Larva in the top and Rain in the center left. This map totally is a map that you can really beat up a Protoss player before they get to where they want to be with a finish tech tree.
Such a funny map, too, with those back passageways and everything.
Yeah, if we get a shot of that, we'll try to explain it to you guys, because it's actually super weird. Even for us who played for a long time, it's a very odd feature to have on a map like this, where you can either, to put it super basically, you can either close it off or open it up.
Yes. And speaking of which, because the map is rotationally symmetric,
right?
I think these positions for these two players favors Rain, because the close backdoor path comes out above the natural of Rain, whereas I feel like Larva, like if you're trying to cheese to win, maybe you want it to come out in his main base.
Yeah.
So if he was like the bottom right, that's where his back natural path would come out to, or the back path would come out to the back of Rain's main base rather than his nat. So, I don't know, just something thrown out there. I don't know, Taste, what you think about that, but that's what I think about the app.
Thank you for sharing that, Artosis. Here's some clay. I'm going to mold my feelings about how I feel about this map.
My therapist said I should tell you during the cast.
I want you guys to know in Game 4, we're going to have a little camera at the bottom right side of the screen, and I'm going to just cast it through interpretive dance. So, it should be noted, and I don't really like citing stats that much as a caster, because I think a lot of times they can be misleading, but we haven't actually seen a Protoss win on this map against Zerg. We haven't had a ton of
Is that
games.
right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, actually, it showed up on the screen a little bit ago. That's how I know.
Jeez, you're good.
Yeah, that's.
Damn, you're really on top of things.
But
even looking at the screen of the game we're
yeah,
casting,
that's
you're a step above me, my friend.
But I think there is something to it in this case on this map. This seems like a tricky map for a Protoss to win in a, we're going to say the virtue nerd play. We're like, I will get all the proper tech. I will survive all rushes and get to the most powerful units and win. This is actually a tricky map for Protoss to play on. Now, that being said, Protoss have a lot of tricks against all the races they can do. Yeah. So we are going to see if that happens this time around. But so far, this build looks very ordinary. It's, again, the 13 to 14 supply, Nexus Forge, expand with a cannon, and then a gateway.
So nothing crazy going on. A drone coming out to scout down towards the bottom. Oh, he's actually going to go in the back of the Protoss
Can't
base.
see it. We don't know what the drawing. I think it's a radish. I didn't see what the drawing was.
Is that guy a pro? That guy there that was sitting in the suit?
I'm not sure. At that time, I wasn't looking at the monitor.
Vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure.
You know, let's just say he's a pro. Let's make it exciting. So as this game continues on, we want to see, okay, what's the Protoss tech going to be?
Look at that third base for Zerg. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that one, Tasis?
Well, this brings up a lot of unhappy feelings I have as a Protoss player, because what this is, Artosis, is when they take another natural to have a guaranteed main later. And this is one of the harder things for Protoss to deal with. It's not easy for the Zerg to pull off, though, either. Is you have to, it's a real balancing act for the Zerg. If Protoss gets the muscle in the early mid game to make sure you have enough defense at both your naturals, I should say. But I think now that Zergs, like, especially now, like in 2017, 2016, Zergs have gotten so good at the SimCity wall-ins. They're much better at holding off stuff.
Yeah.
It used to be you'd kind of throw buildings down willy-nilly. As long as they couldn't see it right away, it was fine. But Zergs have gotten this down to a science, as of the Protoss is. Zerg seems to be the race that kind of was the last one to really be forced to utilize this building placement.
Yeah, you're very right.
Comboing that with eggs, but because remember, Protosses weren't really using building placement until TvP got pretty nasty with vultures, where you had to start making walls. But we'll see if he can utilize that here. It depends on when he gets his hatches and Evo chambers up.
Lorraine going for that Corsair build once again. No big surprise there. Probes still being kept alive for a bit. A few more Lings actually popping out here. Not sure that he's going to be able to actually get any damage done. As all, it should be filling the hole in that wall just momentarily.
Did you see? Is the cybernetic score getting +1?
It wasn't last time we saw it.
Okay.
So, don't know. Yeah, it's not still.
I believe he got +1 for air attack before he got this Citadel.
Yes, last game he did.
Yes. Okay. And so...
Absolutely tasteless.
Absolutely, my friend. He may not go for a ton of Corsairs. We'll have to see. We have seen some builds where they get 1 to 2 and just scout around.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting 1 to 2, push a couple overlords around, see what your opponent's doing, and play more aggressively. Like you said, Protoss have had a hard time here against Zerg thus far.
Yeah.
So to skimp a little bit on this way, like on Gladiator, he looked at that and said, okay, I can play a big macro game here. It seems as if he doesn't really feel that way this time, right? He's actually getting right into his Templar tech as well.
So if he does go that route, it should be a more robust ground push then. So the first Corsair's out, second one's being made. Half of this cast is just selfishly for me, Artosis. I'm like, all right, how do I beat Zergs now?
Well, luckily this map is not in the map pool on the ladder right now. So
Yeah, but as a concept overall, there's a lot of maps you end up that you're sort of the same
yeah.
problem overall. Is Zerg can be kind of scary on maps like this. We are seeing Larva really set up the hatchery placement so that he can turtle later on. And Zerg can be pretty much okay on 4 bases. I mean, obviously Zerg always want to have the option for more bases, but like with 4, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
As a Zerg. And you can definitely get into your hive tech and start beating up the Protoss. Oh! Now he knew that was going to come, but he wanted to try, just to try to get that 1 extra Overlord, because even just getting 1 is pretty handy.
You know, it's kind of funny. Last game he did get the +1 quickly, and okay, he's actually getting it now. It looks like he just wanted to get a DT out very, very quickly, but this is good that he's kind of refilling his Corsair count, because I get scared, right? You lose a Corsair, and then you have like 1 or 2 only, and you don't have any upgrades, and then all of a sudden mutas come. You're going to lose that game very often as Protoss, but Rain kind of filling in his tech tree behind a little bit.
Okay, so the 2 DTs are coming through here.
Oh, that's super annoying.
Yeah.
Well, he can take this 3rd base? Okay, I see what's going on. With that cannon, I was like, is he trying to sneak in the back? The Zerglings are going to kill the assimilator before he can. But just putting that there so that nothing can come through whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just a precaution.
Yeah.
And notice that he's not showing the Corsairs now. He showed those 2, but he's keeping these back here.
Yeah, this is really interesting
This is
because the
smart.
Overlord scouted, no +1.
Yeah.
And the Corsair making, right? So, like, he could immediately tell the build was different from last game. You know, there's DTs out now, so he didn't really notice. Now he gets to see it, though. Oh, Rain, are you really...
I'm not sure if that was like him being really smart and trying to just show 2, or if he just wasn't watching and 2 got fished in there.
That was... you can't be losing your second Corsair like that. Come on.
No. By the way, had Protoss seen this up until now?
I think this was his first time, but
Okay.
not 100%.
So this is quite stressful, actually, for the Protoss, because you're like, oh, this game's completely different now. He needs to get rid of this hatchery. It's very important. That's why he didn't go and try to hide this in there to get drones later on. You actually have to do everything in your power to stop Zerg from getting a 4th hatch with a gas in it. It's hell on earth if they have a 4th hatch with a gas, because that's when Protoss just has to, like, hunker down and be like, all right, we're going to go for a really long game.
I believe you. You're talking to a Terran player here.
Yeah.
Man. They get a 4th gas. I'm like, oh
my
no.
God, yeah.
All the units.
Oh my God, Raid.
Okay, DT pulls back for the time being. Where are those Corsairs right now? Are they still in the main base?
Yeah, he hasn't sent him out, man. I don't see him anywhere.
Well, I think he's a little bit nervous, right? He's already lost 2 Corsairs, 2 Scourge, and if he continues to lose them, there will be a Muta switch, and he will lose to
Just
it.
out of curiosity, what is the actual right amount for like Corsairs when they one-shot Scourge? Do you know?
Okay, let's see. They do 5 a volley, right? They do 5 per attack, and Scourge are at 25 health. So 5 of them would one-shot a Scourge if they fired at the same time. Zerg units heal almost immediately upon first damage.
Yeah.
Which is why with Vultures you generally use 3 to pick off drones instead of 2. Kind of a fun fact for nerds. So yeah, so I would say it's 5, 6 to be safe.
By the way, these links coming in here, just a little interruption. Anything to keep the Protoss back at home, because Zerg is basically saying, you haven't seen my final form.
Oh, I love that too. He actually gets a probe that's trapped.
Okay, wait, we got to point that out. That was in the Corsair control group. That's when the Corsairs bunch up and are harder to hit.
And now he
oh
actually...
my God, this is so
this
dirty.
Is super funny.
This is
he
so
has to kill
funny.
his own pylon to kill these links, or they will kill that because you can't get Archons out of here, so he makes all his Archons outside, and he hasn't made Dragoons yet. There's no warping mechanic. He just has to do it this way. And he's going to get it, man!
Oh, losing the Templar Archives is everything. Can he get it in time?
Oh! 5 health! 5 health left! The crowd's going crazy. Everyone's like, whoa!
Psionic Storm is everything in this matchup. It's everything in this matchup. So losing that...
It's the sun and the moon, man. It's the stars. It's the tasteless.
It's everything, Artosis. And the fact that he doesn't... The fact that he... Oh, okay, there's like one ling's like, I got it, guys! Oh! The fact that... That was like a matter of a fourth of a second whether or not he got that in there is so huge. Because if Rain loses on this map because of that, that's just like, oh, well, we can't even factor in for that. Now he's coming in full force with his Corsairs. He supply blocks Zerg. And this is actually a pretty critical point because Zerg did sack just a few units to try to get that. He might try to go for a push. Now, Larva's skimped, by the way. Larva's skimped at his natural. This is one thing that you got to look for if you're a good Protoss player. Is, did they skimp when they took the other natural? Did they really protect their own natural? Because a lot of times they have like 2 sunks and a lurker there, and you can just bust them down. And it looks like Rain hasn't detected that, but that's a bustable location. So Rain really devoting his attention to the bottom here. Larva might be able to escape this narrow window safely.
By the way, I'm a little bit unsure about that 5 volleys, because that looks like it's taking more than 5. Is Corsair damage explosive?
Listen, someone on Twitter figured this out for us. Sorry, we're just crowdsourcing this one.
Well, I'm a Terran, so I actually literally never play against Corsair, so it's a little bit... I know how much damage they do, but it could be a different damage type.
This is perfect, what he's doing. The targeting to the hatch.
Until the Ling kills all his goons. That is a lot of sunks there, man.
He's just going to try. He's trying to break down the wall so the Zealots can come in. The Zealots are now coming in. And I think he might have busted him. I don't see an observer here. I wasn't really checking if there was a robo back there.
The flank is coming down, though. A couple Zealots do go back to kind of tank for the Dragoons for a moment. The flank not getting here quite quickly enough, it seems.
I think he's going to be okay. If the Lurkers are still pro, their Larva's fine. And this is something that's kind of tough, is you can get surrounded like this. I'm sorry, did we ever have observers coming out?
I haven't seen observers yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, which is kind of surprising if Rain tries to bust us down, because you know that the Zerg is going to rely on Lurkers. And once Lurkers, Sunken Colonies, and one Spore Colony or Toast maxed out Protoss Army, it's still a game of chance. You have no idea who's going to get through that.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I do love this style, by the way. Just the mass static D plus Lurkers. Like, I'll never forget, like, Noni had one of the funniest quotes ever when he was talking about the hardest thing in the game is actually microing observers versus a Spore.
It sounds weird, but it is sort of kind of true.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's an observer just screenshot off there. We saw the observatory. I believe there's an observer merging with that army. And so this is the moment. This is really one of the most important moments for Zerg is to last through this phase. But, you know, Zerg turtled so much. Zerg never really... I don't even know if Zerg really gave a nod to the fact that there's a base in the upper left. Does he not even know? Does he not?
I think he knows. He
has
sees
to
the
assume
cannon
it,
there.
right? You
assume it.
You just assume
it for sure.
It's like the main. If Protoss never scouted that other main in the bottom right, you just assume.
Yeah.
He's got that.
I think for sure. Well, he saw the cannon come up, and he was killing the path. So, like, that can only mean, right, that Rain is getting ready to take that. And Rain is not a guy who would just sit around on 2 bases for all day.
See those 4 DTs?
HDs?
The 4 DTs, my friend. What did you say?
I saw 4 High Templars, and then you said, do you see those 4 DTs? So I said HDs?
HTs? No, DTs, my friend. There were 4 Dark Templars. They were at the front of Moon's Nat. I was about to say he's going to go for a drop.
Oh,
with the 4 DTs. This is a great way to try to punish a guy who's turtling. As a Zerg, as so much resources and army are devoted to out here. You can still bust inside the main with Corsair DT and just like one hit the hive and then the Spire and everything else.
Scariest move
in the
game right here.
He's like, look, these are 4 DTs. I can actually fight Hydras, okay? I don't care if you see me.
DT drop, man. Even late game against Zerg, it's good.
Yep, that's right. He needs to make sure that these Overlords are taken out. I think actually with a number of Hydras, I think actually the Overlord gets in there no matter what. So this is sort of a botched DT drop here. Larva is getting to the phase of the game where he actually could start producing it at an insane amount. Hatcheries are just going down everywhere, my friend.
Well, he's definitely got his macro rolling here, but Rain is on 4 bases, so definitely don't want to be counting out his position here. Lots of Psystorm going to be coming in the next battle.
We don't have a Nidus set up yet, but you have to keep in mind these 2 bases, like the north base and the south base, have to be completely operational separate from each other. You have to accept the fact that Protoss kind of has just the whole center of the map.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty tricky until you get the Nidus network set up between these 2 locations to guarantee that they're both safe.
Look at
Larva's
this.
doing
Oh,
it. Oh,
man.
my God. No
Just
such thing
love
as
it.
overkill with that. Just get that one observer out of there. Okay.
I'm going to do it.
Just drop me out. I'll die instead of the shuttle. Even though I'm a living thing and the shuttle's a computer. So he's still been using these DTs.
6 kills, not bad.
You'd be surprised how often you're able to get away with this as a Protoss player. Is just having a DT when it gets spotted in the Zerg's base, you just run away. And the Zerg's probably because there's so much APM intensive
there's so
tasks
much
with the
going
Zerg.
on.
Zerg doesn't realize that it's actually still alive. It's hidden in the corner, and then you come out. I've had games where my DTs come out like 6 times. And people are like, and like by the end of the
you're
game,
dead
like,
every
you
time.
kept DT dropping me, and I'm like, that was the same DT.
That was one Dark
And then they
Templar.
unfriend me and log off and don't talk to me for a month. Because it's crazy how many
Sounds
times
about
you get away with it. Oh, that's one way to do it.
I like that.
Yeah. Storm surprisingly effective against eggs, by the way.
Well, armor doesn't work against spells.
Yep, that's right.
Oh.
Okay, so
Well, look, Rain has like a big army and stuff still. He's still expanding. He's got a lot of great tech, decent upgrades. But he's unable to break anything. Like, this Turtley play has been quite fantastic. And even though he's done some damage here and there, like, Larva's supply is starting to get pretty scary, okay? Like, sure, Rain is going to be maxing out soon. But something we talk about a lot in StarCraft 1 is how scary a maxed out Zerg is. Because that is something that it's a rare thing to see. You have to have, like, the ultimate unit composition for your race if you're playing against maxed out Zerg. Like, you have to be maxed on... What was that?
Did you hear that? Did a pop band
That was my
suddenly
theme music.
infiltrate the ASL?
Yeah, seriously. But, yeah, so anyways, it's just as his supply starts to get really high, if he can mobilize his army together, it gets pretty scary.
Yeah. Shuttle speed incorporated in here. He's actually going to try to do a slow Reaver push.
I love it.
So this is actually really hard for the Protoss just because Reavers are...
Oh!
well, there it is.
Scourge are so good against Protoss,
Yeah.
man. It's so
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
It's just such a good unit.
Well, it always connects, you know?
Oh.
Don't get too ambitious, Archon. Get back to where you... All right, never mind. Now, part of me wonders if you should have done this with the Dragoons earlier just against the Hydra Den. Just some small interruption. Now, as long as the Reavers are alive, he's okay. Now,
Watch out, Archon, it dies. As long as the Reavers are alive, they die.
It dies, yeah.
Like, there's like, as long as Tasus doesn't have $1 million, he sits around looking around. Like, it's like, well, no, Tasus, you're not actually
not how it
magic,
works.
you fool.
oh, wait, hold on. Lakers are going to counterattack up here through the main.
Oh, God. That's a good
actually,
move.
You don't even have to drop, man. You can just walk right in. Zerg's actually bled through the bottom. We didn't really notice this while it was going on.
Yeah, that is a huge amount of units that
This
are coming
actually
through.
might cost Rain the game here.
Well-
This steady stream of units just going into the back. The Protoss' position is going to implode here.
Luckily, he has a few cannons and
Yeah.
some High Templars, so he can hold on for a bit. But there is some important tech down here, right? He's got his Reaver tech, his core. Seems like he has enough, though.
I believe it's, pretty much all his important tech except for that Templar Archives with 5 HP. This is kind of funny. I was going to say earlier that most of the time, you know, if Zerg takes another natural and goes to a main, Protoss basically has to stretch it out, almost play single player. Rain did an opposite approach. He tried to actually push in, but a lot of people will just make cannons and expansions and try to get all the high-tech stuff and last that way. But I guess because of the way this map's shaped, you can carve out entry points through the edges. This is a totally different approach that Zerg can take that's completely unique to this map. He can just walk Lings forward here.
Yeah, this is really neat because it's kind of like reminiscent of late Ling drops against Protoss, which are so strong, but instead he just walked them over because Rain never... It's a very simple thing. If he had killed the 2 assimilators down there at some point, This never would have happened.
It's
this thing that we
impossible.
see that's beating him. It's like,
Yeah.
how painful is that?
Yeah.
I'm sure this is one of the many reasons why he downvoted this map, that he vetoed it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I don't want to deal with that.
Oh, no,
You
it's-
can drop without overlords? No, thank you.
Yeah. It's all the reward without the risk for the Zerg, basically. Now, again, supplies, guys. Protoss maxed out, Zerg at 123. That's okay for Zerg.
Yeah, he's got all
Protoss
his
can
static
still
D
lose like this.
Oh, and now he's pulling a Zerg. Running all of his
It's like,
units
who
in.
can play in this game? Wings. Attack.
3-1 Zealots against 1-3 Zerglings. Jeez, these two. Match made in heaven.
He does actually need to take this hatch out for real and then take out the assimilators. You see him trying to glitch the Zealots through the hatch.
That's kind of funny.
Now, this whole game has been Protoss trying to breach a Zerg's position, and if at any moment that was actually truly breached, the game would have ended and Protoss would have won, but Larva is a survivor.
And I love these plagues. Look at that. The plague plus the scourge once again taking out observers.
Yeah.
So when you don't have your observers there, man, like you have to storm the lurkers basically. Oh, look at this. StarCraft 1 is such a funny game. These guys are doing so much right now. It's like the lurkers just walk past the
This
army.
is the only RTS game where you'll really see a moment where it looks like the worst play ever, and I'm like, no, these guys, these guys are the best in the world. There's so much going on here. You have
funny
no
too.
idea.
A lot of newer people that you watch be like, well, I wouldn't let that happen. It's like, well, that's why you're not good.
Yeah.
It's actually because you wouldn't let that happen because you'd be micromanaging the wrong things.
Yeah, exactly.
Killing those two lurkers is pretty inconsequential in this game at the moment.
Exactly, compared to everything else he had to do.
Yeah.
Now, Zerg is getting, it's kind of a funny position because the center of the map is the Protoss. Protoss says the edges of the map are really the Zerg.
Yeah.
But the Zerg is basically now acquired. What am I seeing? Why is a Ling attacking an egg?
The egg will live. It will
It'll
hatch.
be okay.
Even if there's an Ultra in there, that egg has enough armor against a +1 Ling.
But keep in mind, the Zergs acquired all the The Zergs acquired all the expansions. There's so many bad things happening. I'm never going to finish this thought. The Zerg's taken all the expansions that the Zerg can basically have this game. Protoss is taking all the expansions the Protoss can basically have this game.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering about the two bases that are in the lower middle that aren't taken, that's not really anybody's.
Yeah, no, the two bases not
That's
taken,
like-
literally, Protoss can hit those way
That's
too
like
easily.
a national park, okay?
Yeah.
That's like kind of for everybody. Okay?
No one has ever taken
That's for
those.
you guys at home too, okay? But nobody can really own it.
Yeah.
All right.
You can visit it.
You can visit it, but
you can't mine its resources.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's right. It is protected land there.
And they're set to explode at some point. They're 100,000 years overdue and will destroy the map when they finally do.
That's right. So this plaguing stuff, this is really the icing on the cake here as far as ZvP goes. When you get to late game, just keep sending defilers out and plaguing the army because Protoss is just going to have all their units dropped to low HP and be softened up. It's not as impactful as like the same way it is in a ZDT, where it's like a few plagues and one lurker spine kills an entire Terran army.
Yeah, because of course it doesn't hurt the shields. So like for instance, it's comical against Archons. It can do a maximum of 9 damage.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. Like, it does its damage in 3s, by the way, which is you'll see Protoss units with between 3 and 1 hit points.
That's right.
Left over because it can't actually kill anything. Well, except Terran buildings because they burn themselves down.
This is true.
But yeah, it can only do its damage in little chunks. But anyways, it's a good move. You know, it's just kind of like over time gaining some value, doing some damage to these units that doesn't heal.
Yeah, you're basically permanently softening up the Protoss' army. It's a really good way to play the game.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. If you're going to get to this late phase of the game, you kind of got to do it. Now, Protoss may try to exhaust the Zerg, and the Zerg may try to exhaust the Protoss as far as resources go. And I'm not sure who really, truly wins in the long run with that.
Well,
the Reaver push that you're seeing here, okay, well, it's already being highlighted by what we're seeing right now. It's really hard to push Reavers down.
Yes.
It's easy to push Reavers to the right or to the left, but down, not so much, my friends.
No, they actually glitch out when they're attacking down a lot of the time and walk into like spine range and stuff. By the way, both sides were maxed out right at the beginning of that, so that's really cool to see. And as the Zerg maxes out, that's when I feel like Protoss really has to have their absolute ultimate army, which consists of lots of Archons, Storms, Zealot, Dragoon, but also the Reavers should be in there at that point as well, because you basically need to have like this absolutely nasty army where you have the splash damage that clears everything. And that's kind of what we see here out of Rain.
There's no Overlord.
Oh, by the way, Tastes, for supreme late game, big economy, PvZ.
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone using Arbiters at all in the recent years? Because we saw that just a little tiny bit way back.
Not that I can think of.
I haven't seen
not in
any.
a way that I would look back and be like, oh, that's the way to do it. I personally have messed with Arbiters a little bit, and they don't hurt. I think the question is, what is Zerg trying to do? If Zerg's going like mass ultras or something,
Yeah, Stasis
that's
is
pretty
gonna
cool.
be
But
nasty.
sometimes things like Dark Archons are actually better.
Yeah.
If you're running around with a Dark Archon map and you just feed back the Defilers, it seemed to be more popular outside of Korea, but I never felt like there was a reason why you wouldn't want to have one.
Yeah, I like
what I'm talking about?
a Dark Archon, even Maelstrom.
Yeah, Maelstrom's okay.
It can be a useful thing occasionally.
But, no, I mean, our Arbiters...
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone in the modern day, but I have seen them occasionally in the past.
Yeah.
Look at this drop.
Well, this is definitely one way to do it. As he's saying, we've gotten far enough into this game, and this is
He's going Arbiter.
Here we go.
He's going Arbiter,
All right.
Tasteless.
Artosis, this just cues in very nicely. Now we have a huge link drop. Let's see how much damage this can actually do, because Rain seems to basically be prepared for this.
Yeah, those cannons plus the High Templars.
You basically have to have cannons when you're doing this. Because if one drop in the main can kill off your entire tech. In fact, again, Rain is sort of the guy that can outlast anybody.
And I love, by the way, because we have kept talking about Rain and how great he is at getting into the late game and how strong he is defensively, how strong he is in late game scenarios. And I just love the fact that he's bringing out this style that we haven't really seen recently, which is having Arbiters mixed in. This is really the only other unit you would even consider to use against Zerg.
Here's why I think he's getting the Arbiter Tosis, because when you were asking me initially, I'm so used to PvT with Arbiters, right? Because you don't really get in PvP or anything. But I'm thinking Stasis, I'm thinking Cloak, and it's like, they're going to have Overlords, and Stasis is okay, but I guess only if they're getting Ultralists or something. But Recall, it's hard to get an Arbiter with Scourge, first of all. They're pretty tanky.
Yeah.
And there's only going to be 1 and 2 important locations on this map for Zerg. Zerg ain't expanding into the middle, my friend. If he can get one big recall and basically stop Zerg from taking that, because Protoss is going to be sitting maxed out for more of this game than the Zerg really is, Zerg is constantly producing, so his minerals are always low.
Sure.
If he can actually just recall to a location that would otherwise be too hard to push into, he can possibly win this game. Now, again, we have Rain. This may be a little bit too bold, but he's actually going to try to full-on push in here. Let's see if he has storms from the heavens. Maybe he actually will break this.
He has so many storms, he's just double storming lurkers at this point.
I don't believe he even has vision of these lurkers. He's just like, where are the spines coming from?
Oh, that was a beautiful storm right there. But yeah, he's literally just double storming. Like one storm barely doesn't kill a lurker, so throwing 2 down, you erase him real quick. But he lost a lot of his units right there as well. Finally, the Arbiter is out.
Again, Arbiter's such an odd pick for this late phase of the game, but we're truly into the late parts of PvZ here.
Yeah, well,
and
this
PvZ,
is where he's literally Rain sat there and he's like, is there anything else that I want here? And Arbiter came to mind for him.
It's kind of funny because like TvZ super late game is like this insane fight where everything is so explosive and each battle can go a totally different way. A PvZ late game fight is kind of like the final 20 minutes of an 80s or early 90s action movie where the two guys are fighting. You know, when they're like super buff and they don't have their shirts on.
Oh, yeah.
And the way they're fighting is actually the way that nobody who's ever fought would really fight, because you get your ass kicked if you fought like that. But, they're both punching. They're both just constantly landing blows to the face, and they're covered with blood. And you know, basically one guy kind of just gets more angry at the end. Like the protagonist is like, even though he's almost dead, he's like, I'm really pissed, and he just kind of
Well, he remembers like you killed his sensei or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And it sort of just actually outdoes the other guy. It's a lot of blows, but a lot of hard hits that just it keeps happening over and over. It's not like TvZ where it's like, all the Zerg stuff died, but then all the Terran stuff died. All right. I was like, I'll get rid of your Scourge by sending a shuttle in here and storming that.
By the way, the amount of Scourge on the map has gone up dramatically since he saw the Arbiter tech. He just kind of has them sitting around in areas where Arbiters might fly through.
Yeah. Note the gas banked up here for Larva, by the way. We've always had about 2K gas for him. I don't know if it's going to just kind of stay floating in that. Larva never really wanted to go to the Ultra Tech, which I think is actually okay for the way this game's turned out.
I mean, when you hit that Ultra Tech, right, like it does well. It lives through a lot of Psy Storms and stuff like that, but with Dragoon, Reaver, and Archon, it's like, that's kind of...
You know, since we are seeing this really unusual Arbiter tech, it's worth noting that, you know, Terran, they actually do have a response to hallucinated Arbiters. You know, when you see a Protoss, well, you can at least EMP the group. Now, Zerg, when you have a bunch of Arbiters coming across the map, there's actually not a lot Zerg can do about it. They can't. There's no easy way for them to just kill off every single Arbiter cost effectively. Now we're going to see that first recall, and this is going to knock out the Hive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spire as well. This is kind of nice.
And
the spawning pool is there, and I mean Zergling's definitely one of the most important late game units.
Yeah. And I think the second Arbiter is there for the recall back.
I like it.
So he just sort of blots out one location. Yeah. And the Zerg can't really do much about it.
In and out. In and out burger.
There you go, my friend. This is a joke that was from Trev. This is an inside joke you guys are never going to know about. But it's really dumb. But
it's one of the funniest things Taste has ever said was In and Out burger. It was just amazing.
What was the context of that joke?
Well, it was
like
like walking
something like
by a bunch of bikes in California, and like some of them were like locked or something, and some of them were unlocked or something. Like you're like in, out, in, out, in and out burger.
We were like super jet lagged, and I don't know.
It was a normal quality Taste joke in my opinion. Whoa!
That's one way to do it.
That was sick tryharding to kill those drones. Oh my god! He like flies an Arbiter over the corpses and recalls the rest of his army with a probe to make cannons there. God, Rain, chill.
I think Rain wins this in the long run, man. Yeah. This is just a very steady way to wipe the Zerg out. Because of course the question is, well, where do you recall next? Wow, look at that! He's going to take that base over there.
I don't recall.
So I guess the next place he recalls to is a center right. Am I correct about this?
I mean, probably. I think it's okay for him to just crush an area as well. Removing areas can be powerful.
Sure. Well, any tech that's over there.
Oh, there's Reavers in there, isn't there?
I'm still cracking up at the part. Hold on, let's see if he actually gets this.
Oh!
This guy's
so sick.
The shuttle's like, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm still laughing at that. What you said earlier, I don't think you would call yourself, but like when the recall happened to the main, you're like, oh, his spawning pool's there. Look at that. I'm thinking like Ertosis, it's always there.
Yeah,
it's never not been there before.
Oh, I got the spawning pool.
There's no way to play the game and win without the spawning pool.
build it my natural.
Always being there. It's impossible.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
That's when I was smiling super hard at you earlier, Ed. Well,
should have made a second one somewhere else as third, so you could get
this
speed and adrenaline at the same time.
Exactly. Okay, so Zerg has realized that he actually has to do something because
he's actually got more supply right now than Rain, so this could be doable. The Reavers and Psy Storms just being massively helpful here.
Yeah, Overlord's coming in overhead. Again, it's hard to get a maxed out Zerg army over here. And Zerg's going to get this. Nicely done. You know, I think as much as Rain has played the long, drawn-out macro game, here's the problem. He burnt a lot of units trying to bust down his opponent earlier on. Nice Ice Storm drops. And Artosis, Zerg has bigger supply, which is very scary for the Protoss. The only place Protoss is mining are the locations in the middle of the map.
Oh boy.
Larva might have just totally reversed this game.
Well, Larva coming over to kill this base. That one doesn't really matter too much.
The only mining base is the top center one, or is it? No, bottom center sort of
but
mining.
Zerg is only mining really a little bit as well.
True, but
There is a possibility he can just kind of turtle this out. I don't know how much splash he really has left. The amount of shuttles I've seen fly in and kill like 2 drones.
Oh, he's coming in. Here we go. You know, I don't know if he has enough. Oh, come on.
Oh yeah.
The Templars doing the tango there.
Those Templars were like Terran SCVs making a depot right there, man.
Yeah.
They were like daring the Zerglings to kill him.
Well, now, this is one of these games where you really get to see Brood War games. Late game are always a unique snowflake. You'll never have the same late game ever in this game. Protoss nearly mined at the top, so the more mineral-rich location is actually the lower, kind of isolated base here for Rain. Larva has actually expanded out, by the way, to those locations, the national park locations we were talking about that weren't going to be anybody's. It looks like Rain had sort of
well, this is a protest DT. He doesn't want a pipeline there,
That's
man.
right. Taken out immediately. And it seems like Rain's going to try to push out. Neither of these guys are going to be clear on where the other person's supply is, by the way.
Yeah.
When
The only
games of Brood
reason
War
we
go on
have
this-
any idea is because we're playing Brood War HD and we got it in the top right.
That's right. This was the old school cast. We just sort of had to feel it out.
I'd be like, we would not know who's head of supply realistically.
Yeah. It'd be purely speculative. Now here comes Rain's attempt to equalize this game. He's going to try to break down the lurkers that are burrowed up over here. Don't know if he's going to be able to get in there.
I love this Arbiter being in here, by the way, because it adds this extra level of micro where you got to keep your Overlords up here as well. Otherwise, it can just kind of retreat into the cloakness. Oh, or do that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. Plague is actually a great response to this.
Yeah. Plague reveals and Snare reveals as well.
Where is the majority of the tech been remade at? I'm actually not clear on that.
I don't think he remade most of it.
Uh-oh, here we go. Another big recall. Boom.
Yeah, this is one of the last mining bases here for Zerg.
Yeah, getting the Reavers over here. That's going to make it really hard for any army parading in to actually take this out.
Well, you give up this location, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, well, apparently Larva says no. He's actually coming up now.
Oh, wow. I'm
Some
kind
like-
of surprised. Single file links
We got
coming
it,
in here.
guys!
But how many Scarabs does he have left? He's actually on that low point of Scarabs now where you have 0 and it takes a while to build.
I think he should be okay. These are Reavers against Lynx. You're kind
What
of...
about the Archon, though?
Yeah. I guess he might be able to take this out. It's not going to be cost efficient for Zerg. That much is for sure. Look at this.
Oh! I love that pickup.
Yeah, me too. See ya. So this hatch should go down here. Mind out. Let's take a look down here. Okay, man, so Protoss actually has to get a base up now because Larva's still mining from that location. Larva actually is the only
There's-
that base. That's all he needs. Artosis. He's a Zerg player.
It's almost time to start mining the minerals that are near the double geysers that let you in other bases. Like, there is almost nothing left.
Yeah. Okay, so
Rain is down to like 50 minerals right now.
not this.
Okay, well.
Okay, Templar.
Oh!
This is like not even good.
No, it's not. He keeps
I'm like,
doing
just turn that
this.
thing around. This is not.
Yeah.
Those are Templars. Like, don't worry about getting a Scourge.
Well, a Zealot going to go to the bottom right to harass, I guess, but there's really not much there.
Okay, so Rain actually has to make this work. I can't believe Larva's going to outlast Rain.
Yeah, it's kind of
this game.
crazy.
I don't believe that you're going to be able to win from here. He should not have been trying to break the Zerg.
Do you think that there were too many High Templar drops to get drones? Because, like, every time
No.
the shell got picked off, every time the High Templars died.
Actually, here's what I think, Artosis. I think that the real problem was Protoss kept trying to break the Turtle Zerg.
Yeah.
If you do that too many times, you end up losing a lot. You got to sort of play around it, because otherwise you're playing exactly into what the Zerg wants to do. GG.
Oh, sick game here by Larva and by Rain. Really showing, the supreme late game of these races. And this is the map they both wanted to veto.
By the way, a game like that is one where you normally want to have a long break after. You play a game like that, you're not like, let's queue up another one.
Yeah.
You go on a walk for 20 minutes.
Well, especially for rain here.
You take a shower. You go get some food. Make yourself a pot of coffee.
I don't think he has time for any of that, though. I think it's going to be like
You
a
play that
3-minute
game,
break.
it's late at night, my friend. You don't go to bed after a game like that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. One of the most exhausting things about StarCraft 1 is a game like that, and that is right square in the middle.
Yeah.
By the way, Larva 2-1 against Rain. Larva is really coming into his own.
Yeah, they're 1-1 in macro games, and of course that brilliant cheese, the drone drill in game number 1. So
Yeah.
Larva doing a great job.
Okay.
Next map is Fighting Spirit, actually.
Oh, that's right.
What do you think about that for our PvZ coming up?
Well, I've seen it before.
You've seen
Fighting Spirit.
I don't know the map. Can
I
you
don't think
describe
we
it to
have
me?
enough Fighting Spirit. Artosis. Oh, well.
You know what I learned yesterday?
What?
For pro recorded games, there are over 1,000 on Fighting Spirit.
I'm surprised it wasn't 10,000 to be totally
I know.
honest. I'm like, it feels like it's been more than 1,000.
I'm surprised it wasn't
Fighting
20,000.
Spirit is, whenever people complain about Python for a second, I just push them down the stairs while saying Fighting Spirit. I'm so tired of this map, for God's sake. We'll be right back here in game number 4.
Come here to the stairs. I have something to tell you.
Fighting Spirit.